this is really hard for me to read, but I'm gonna continue. All right. The last time I saw Fatten and their family, I think I was 10 or 11, and Big Bro, he was like a brother to me, got really upset with Stepmom. And they went to yelling at one another because he disagreed with the way we were being treated slash punished. I was so happy Big Bro stood up for us because no one ever did. Unfortunately, that caused me and my brother to lose contact with the people who meant the most to us. They truly loved us. That's life. We learn no one ever sticks around. I think it took my dad long enough until he finally had enough and realized he was tired of us being abused. I mean, it got so bad I can remember my step grandma and excuse me and stepmom telling me and my brother we were going to get it when we got home from school because we would tell my dad on them, and I got sick of it. I was so young I packed a box of toys and walked away from the school, told my stepmom it was for show and tell, and I was so scared to return home. I talked to my best friend, we would call her Lolita, and turning away. So we both got our box of toys and walked away from the school after school. We were pretty young. We thought we were getting somewhere, but we were actually going around the same block over and over again, ending up at Lolita's best friend Jordan's house. We went as far as making up this lie that my dad married Lolita's mom and we were sisters. Jordan's mom called the police. My father and stepmom were at the police station waiting on us. I'm pretty sure the police didn't come to hear my reason for running away, given the fact that my father was a well known textile engineer at Auburn University. At that point, where am I at? At that point, he was untouchable. I remember returning to school the next day, and my punishment for running away, my step my stepmom had called the school and made sure I wasn't allowed to go on the field trip to the zoo. I had to sit in detention. I also remember all holidays at school being extremely depressing considering we were Muslim. I'm not downing the religion, but it had a toll. It affected a lot of the things that were going on in school as I was growing up. Um, okay, so every Halloween, Christmas, Easter, while all the other kids got candy and did arts and crafts that were holiday related, I didn't. I loved being in chorus and loved singing, just hated not being able to participate. I missed out on the Disney trips, and school got to go on all the Disney trips in Spain or France or Italy, all the trips that all the kids got to go on, I wasn't allowed to go on, which is okay, whatever. I never got to go. I made a friend growing up. He was Jehovah's Witness. He was in the same boat as me. When it came to us being left out when all the fun stuff went down in school, we just became friends, I guess. He turned out to be a really decent human being. He became a good man. All right, so this is where the chapter gets kind of weird, and I have to flip because, okay. My aunt, my stepmother's sister, we're going to call her Princess, who was always also my age, so it was always a headache to explain how she was my aunt when we hung out like friends. I used to beg to spend the night over at Princess's house because she had hundreds of Barbies and some of the coolest dollhouses ever. We always role played. She was always the princess, and you already know I was the prince. It sucked. She would be Ariel, and I would be Prince Eric. Princess really thought she could sing. I'm not trying to be ugly, but she sucked. I'm really not trying to be ugly. Later on that year, I got to go on a cruise with them to the Bahamas, and we were supposed to go to Disney World too, but Princess and I bickered the entire time, and we didn't go. My stepmom packed my clothes, and I can remember this bright pink jumper with Big Bird on it. I wore most of the trip, while Princess got to wear short shorts, tank tops, all the cool kids' clothes, and I stayed embarrassed the entire time. I heard I had my first Andes chocolate. Until this day, it's my favorite. They would leave them on our pillows every morning when they cleaned our rooms. On the ship, real good. The spending in the night and hanging out with Princess came to an end when Princess and I got caught in her kiddie pool humping. Her Her mom was in the kitchen window. I think she even recorded us. If I can remember correctly, she freaked the fuck out. She must have not freaked out that much if she was recording us. Anyways, people are asses. Princess's mother always had something to say about everyone. She was always gossiping. I thought it was ridiculous and I was young, thinking that. So you know it was bad. I think Princess's mom kept me around while she did because she wanted all the info on her husband's ex-wife, Siti. And oh boy, did I run my mouth. I wanted Princess's life, except for her father. At times I think Princess would rub things in my face. She was spoiled rotten. I still love her. I just couldn't understand why I was any different or why I didn't deserve the things she had. I think my step grandma was making up rules for the Quran that weren't even in the book to make our lives a living hell. I gave away all my belongings thinking I could buy friends. Beats it beats my grandma taking them from me because eventually she would get mad and take the things my father bought me. I had to wear shorts and t-shirts and pools and beaches, went to a few which we went to a few while my father did business. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina had been by far my favorite. We would stay at the Embassy Suites, and there were literally 6 buffets filled with anything and everything you could think of. They would make your omelet the way you wanted, and I felt like a queen. The hotel was gorgeous. Little Elma had to wear t-shirts at pools and beaches too, which pissed me off because little bit Baghdaddy didn't have to. I never understood why. My brother and I really weren't bad kids. We were just made out to be problem kids. My step grandma always poked at little Elmo for being fat. I love my brother, no matter what. I never thought he was fat. I thought he was really cool, actually. Yeah, I still think he is. Anyways, Princess's dad came to visit from New Orleans. To visit. And I can remember at the time I was probably 11 years old, and for some reason I wouldn't give my bedroom up to my step grandpa's. So he ended up sharing my room. That didn't last long because I freaked out when he started touching me sexually, and I remember running downstairs and trying to tell my stepmom what happened, and she slapped me. Told me I was a liar and that her father would never do such a thing. I got in trouble. After they left town, my stepmom held my hands under scorching hot water until literally I felt like I was dying. My stepmom told me that I was a nasty little whore, and even if we weren't family, her father wouldn't look at me twice in that way. It got so bad I couldn't even scream anymore. You couldn't hear anything come out of my mouth. I literally peed on myself and was made to clean it up afterwards. From what I can remember, he always rode me inappropriately. But before this, I didn't want to say anything because each weekend, Princess and I would go to the skate center. And for me to be able to spend the night with her and go every weekend, I couldn't get in trouble. The only place I could go and actually feel like all the other kids my age was a skate center. It was a place I could pretend that my life was perfect.